Hello students, we were studying relative pronoun and relative pronoun shows us the relation. Suppose I write I met Rani. Again the second sentence is Rani had just returned. Now you know that I met Rani. Now we are not going to again repeat the name, that is a noun here. Instead, we are going to use a pronoun here. So the sentence would become I met Rani who had just returned. So here in this way, what we had seen, that who will become our relative pronoun, and this is pointing towards the noun, that is Rani. And remember that this is pointing towards the word Rani or the noun Rani. So this is known as the antecedent. Antecedent. So this noun which is preceded by this word relative pronoun is known as the antecedent. I hope that you would have understood that this is how we are using the relative pronoun. So because we have used this word instead of a noun, it has become pronoun, and whose place it is kept, this is the noun, so this is the antecedent. Okay, let us see the work done by each of these words, who, which, and whose and that. All these are relative pronouns. We already know that we had seen who, then we had seen which, then we will see that, whose, etc., etc. So we are going to see the usage of each one of them nicely. Okay, let us begin with who. Okay, now remember that who is always used for a person. There is an exception given, but we will just ignore this exception. Just remember that who is used instead of a noun, and that noun is a person here. So suppose there is a sentence here, that is, he met a man who was a beggar. Okay, so what is this relative pronoun? We know who is the relative pronoun here, and who is used for the man here. Man is the antecedent here, antecedent, and who is the relative pronoun, and remember that it is used for a person here. So who is used instead of a noun, and therefore the work, it actually does the work of a pronoun, because it is doing the work of, it is used instead of a noun. So this is how we are going to use who. Let us see a few examples and we will understand it better. Okay. Next, we are going to continue with the man who is honest, is trusted. Okay. So the man, here it is the man, that is the noun here, who is honest. So this is actually referring to this antecedent noun, that is man, and that is why it is a relative pronoun showing relation with this man. It is joining these two parts in a proper order. So we see that the man who is honest is trusted. They never fail who die in a great cause. Okay. They never fail who die in a great cause. So, they never fail. Who? Now, who is referring to this? They here. So, they never fail who die in a great cause. So, that means they are doing some great deeds in their life, and this relative pronoun is actually referring to this pronoun or a noun here, and that is why who is used for a person. Let us see. Sometimes it is written that who is also used for animals, but remember that if you are going to write that, you are only going to get confused. So it is better that we don't use that. I met Hari, who had just returned. Again we see the joining word is there, which is showing the relation. So I met Hari. So who is this? Who is actually who referring to? It is referring to Hari. So Hari is the antecedent and who is the relative pronoun. So who has different forms. Now what are these different forms of who that has been given in your book? We had already seen the case, and there in nominative case it is who. Then in genitive case, or we can say possessive case, it is whose. And in the accusative case, which is directing you towards the object, it is showing whom. Okay, so this is what it is. Sometimes it is written that who replaces whom, but that is done in informal English. So we are not going to see those exceptions which will only confuse us. So nominative case who, possessive case whose, and accusative case is whom. Remember this one thing. Let us move on. Let us see after this whom how we have used the who and the whose one. Now in your book also the whose part has been written, that whose is used in speaking of person but sometimes of things without life. So we have seen that who is used for person, but when we are using whose, it can be for person as well as for things. It can also be used for things. Remember this, that you can use it for person or human beings. You can also use sometimes for things. Suppose the sun whose rays. So what we have done here, for this sun we have used this pronoun whose rays. So here it is a non-living object, it is a thing, it is also the antecedent, and we have used for this a relative pronoun. So whose rays give life to the earth. So this is how it is going, and remember that whose can be used for both persons and things. This is the question whose solution has baffled philosophers. This is the question. This is the question. Now question is the noun here, and for question what is written? Whose solution has baffled. Baffled means confused and deceived philosophers of all ages. So for this question, that is a noun or an antecedent, whose is the relative pronoun used. So just remember, it can be used both for person as well as things. Next, more properly, this is the question, the solution of which. Now remember here, suppose in the same sentence you have to remove whose, then you can apply of which. Of which, the solution of which, this is the question, the solution of which, the solution of which has baffled. Okay, so remember here, wherever it is of which, then we can use here whose. Okay, so here we can write one more thing, that instead of whose, or whose can be placed at places where normally we can also place of which. Okay, this is another thing that is to be remembered. Now after discussing who and whose, let us move to which. Okay, which is also quite easy. Let us move with the which form, that how and when, in which case and which forms it is used. And please don't get confused in this, take it quite easy, avoid the exceptions here. Sorry, I have used it. WHICH, which. Okay, so which is used for things without life and for animals. So the first thing is, it can be used for animals. The second thing is that it can use for anything without life. We can also call that it is used for non-living objects, so without life. Then it may refer to a singular or plural noun. It can be used both for singular as well as for plural noun. So there is no problem that you have to think about whether it is singular or whether it is plural. Then the moment which I lost is lost forever. The moment which is lost. Okay, so we are actually, which is actually talking about moment, and moment is actually something without life. So we can use which for something without life. Then we can, how can we use it with the animals? The dog or the cat, which I recently bought. So now we will see this use, that with animals how can we use it? With dog we are using it which. That which is the relative pronoun used for a noun that is an animal. So this is the antecedent and this is the relative pronoun. Okay, so remember these two things. It can be used for animals and it can be used for something without life. Okay, let us move on. Let us move on. What are the other things given here? Which was formerly used to refer to people, but please don't use which for people nowadays, children, otherwise you will get confused. Nowadays it is not used with this, so please don't get confused. So the dog, so it is actually that the Our Father, which art is heaven, which may also refer to a sentence such as, the man was said to be angry, which was not the case. Okay, so we can see this one, that the man, we'll begin from here, the man was said to be angry, which was not the case. So this is here where we can see a condition. The man was said to be angry. Okay, this is something which was not the case. So there is something given and our relative pronoun is pointing towards that statement, that is not the case. So here also again we can use the relative pronoun. Another way, he said he saw me there. Okay, he saw me there, which was a lie. Which was a lie. So he said he saw me there is something that is told. It can be a condition. Okay, but this condition is the relation. That means whatever is said about this was a lie. So we have joined this. This is the relative pronoun and it is pointing towards this statement that has been given here. It is a lie. Next, the relative pronouns who and which can be used. Another thing which is again mentioned here, just remember these two more things here. Two things have been given about who and which. What is that? To restrict, limit or define. First thing, to restrict or limit something or define something. Okay, just define. We can use something more clearly the antecedent, that is antecedent means any noun which is preceding the relative pronoun, where the clause introduced by a relative pronoun is restricting. Remember that clauses is another chapter that you will study in 8th class. It is not there right now. It is a part of a sentence. Just remember, part of a sentence. But it is too much for you to understand right now. So just understand here that we can use who and which for defining something, for restricting something or limiting something. Suppose the man who had cheated me was arrested by the police yesterday. Okay, so here the man is the noun. Okay, now about this man, what has been defined? What has been defined here? Who had cheated me. So this is something given about this man, and here it begins with this relative pronoun pointing towards this noun. So this noun is actually an antecedent. Okay, so here we can use who, and we know who is used for persons. Next sentence, see one more sentence, that the book which you see. Again, the book. Now the book is a noun. What is something about this? Which you see on the table cost me 2 rupees. Okay. Then we see this is the noun, and then what is the defining part here? Which you see on the table. So this is defining the book or the noun. So this book, this which is the relative pronoun telling us something, a relation, etc. This is a noun and we call this as antecedent. So antecedent comes just before the relative pronoun. Okay. So here which is used for non-living, and earlier we had seen that who was used for human beings. Next point that has been given in your chapter is to give some additional information. So what is that? Additional information. Just remember that even the last sentences we have done can only be taken as additional information about the antecedent. That is, the teacher sent for the boys. The teacher sent for the boys who came at once. Okay. So who are these? Who is who here? The boys. So boys is the antecedent and who is the relative pronoun. Next sentence, I gave him a rupee. Okay. Which was all I had. Which was all I had, whatever it is. So we should understand I gave him. What is this? A rupee is the noun and which is the relative pronoun connecting these two parts, and which is also pointing towards this noun, that is the antecedent. So I gave him a rupee. Rupee is mentioned here, which, that means the rupee was all I had. So we are actually talking about the rupee in the next part of the sentence, which has been given by which. So which is pointing towards the remaining part and it is telling that it is being referred for a rupee. So this is what we see in who, whose, which. That is what we have studied today. And students, some exceptions have been given. So don't get confused about those exceptions because they are rarely used, and if you will study them and remember them, you may go wrong. So just revise these and I hope that you would have understood these three things: who, which, and we have also studied whose. Okay, please revise them.